Here we are at the Fort Hagan satellite array. I don't recall if this landmark was here before the DLC. It seems like it was. Don't know. All the satellite arrays look kind of the same, like in Fallout 3. Especially that ridge along the north side of the map in the Capital Wasteland. If you remember, there was a lot of satellites up there. Usually inhabited by raiders. I guess this is the same type of thing. These are raiders. You just have robots at their disposal. Doom Protectron. Well, if Doom means you're going to nuke when you die, then I'm out of here. That's the thing I'm most scared of. It's not their lasers and all that other crap. It's when they set themselves off after you kill them. That's what gets me. There you go. It said new mods available at the workbench. I guess with each new piece of gear that you pick up, it unlocks some new thing. I don't know how extensive that is. That'd probably be just a good idea to pick up one of everything. I want to upgrade Ada and make her a badass. She deserves it. Before we go get some payback on the Mechanist. Now, I'm just guessing that's what all this leads up to, is some kind of revenge thing with the Mechanist or whatever. I mean, Ada sure has that coming. Oh, wow, what a horrible miss. Twice. No, I guess I got him. No, I guess I didn't.
Show your face.
It's a cool little setup they have here.
I dare you. Find him and
These tent posts that they have up, I love putting those at my settlements. That is a really cool addition. That and the cement walls.
I'll make it nice.
I've been utilizing them a lot.
You can trust me. No sign of him now.
You know what I'll probably wind up doing is starting another character, as per usual, right? Starting over. I love starting over in RPGs. It's almost as fun as just playing through the game as starting over. And especially getting through the beginning of a lot of games when your character's weak and you're building your character and finding, you know, optimal way to assign your points in the right order to make you strong, and then hoping you luck up on some really cool piece of gear, like the ultimate gun or that one piece of armor which you can't ever seem to find, you know, that type of thing. Yeah, that's the fun part. Anyway, I was thinking maybe starting another character for the, oh, this is legendary. Okay, I'm guessing he can one-shot me, right?
Look out!
I'll take that. That's what you get for ranking up your explosives. You didn't see that coming, did he? Plasma infused heart. That's basically the same thing as my pistol. It wouldn't be my preferred upgrade on a sniper rifle, though. I'm thinking an instigating sniper is probably the absolute best thing you could ask for. In my opinion. I mean, just overall, you know, double damage when target is at full health. Well, that's the whole idea of sniping, is to get up on an enemy unawares. Get them when they're at full health. But I was thinking another character, and it'd be a mix between my VATS build and this build. And with this one, I'm running with automatic weapons because it seemed to fit, you know, and it's a lot of fun. I like spraying and praying. I mean, it's just fun to really dump ammo. Anyone who knows me going all the way back to Call of Duty days knows that I like the small, quick-fire SMGs and just really lay down the fire, where my accuracy is about 0.1% of what everybody else is. Because I'm just throwing lead everywhere. I will not leave a full clip of ammo on the battlefield. When I die, I'm going to be running around melee because I'm completely out of all ammo. You know, that type of thing. It's fun. It's just fun. Whatever. Each to their own, right? But I was thinking, it's kind of a cross. Is VATS, it has its purposes. It's fine. Really, the only point of investing a bunch of extra points into VATS-related stuff is to take advantage of criticals. Now, the one thing you can do is gun fu. Gun fu is definitely a good VAT skill for extra damage that doesn't rely so much as on criticals, but it produces its own criticals, essentially. And so what I was thinking is basically a max agility build, right? Get agility up to 9 to start with, run over there and get that bobblehead. And then keep the luck around 2. Once you get the bobblehead, you'll have it at 3, so you can unlock Bloody Mess. And other than dropping a couple extra points into agility, in fact, just steal a couple out of probably endurance. I think I started with an endurance of 5, so make my endurance like, I don't know, 3 or something. Or even 2. I mean, I'm used to running with it at 1, so it's not a big deal. It doesn't seem to make a whole lot of difference on new survival mode. If an enemy gets a headshot on you, or a critical, or whatever it is that causes them to one-shot you, it's just going to happen. So if you got 50, 60, 80, 100 extra hit points, it doesn't seem to really matter. Doesn't seem to, anyway. I haven't noticed a whole lot of difference in play. You're a little beefier, maybe early on, especially in the game, where, you know, level 1 or level 1 or 2 enemies aren't designed to hit you for a whole lot. So if you've got 40, 60, 80 extra hit points, okay, that would matter. You know, that would matter. But then later on in the game, not really so much. Once your armor rating is up and you've got your energy resistance going and so on and so forth, not a big deal. But I'm thinking with the sprinter's gear, but to run around with a single-shot pistol. It takes care of your ammo problem. All right, you're only running around with one ammo type. You've got all those other ammo types to sell, to, you know, so that you can keep up ammo and buy other stuff that you want and whatever. Still craft the same stuff. Still craft the same type of gear. Look for look for sprinter's gear. Look for, you know, treat armor for what it is. AP doesn't really seem to be much of a problem either way you go. I liked having the ultralight gear for the AP bonus, but I don't see it making a huge difference as far as that goes. So I'm thinking, you know, kind of mix and match a little bit. The whole thing where the biocom upgrade is good to have on a piece of gear somewhere. I bought mine. I think it was the Wastelander's chest piece or something from the lady in Diamond City, I believe. You know, the one who's paranoid of synths. And it makes your chems last longer. That's a huge help for when I do use Psychojet, which is basically the only chem I actually run with. It lasts long enough to get out of trouble. And that's the main. That's when I pop it off. Is when I get surrounded and I'm in the middle of a room and I've got who knows what around me, and to slow it down a little bit so I can avoid some shots. Being able to sprint, being able to get out of the way. I see agility as being the absolute best branch of the special tree in the game, in my opinion. In fact, if you only had enough points to put into one branch and that's it, let's say you had to pick one special and that's all, I would go with agility over strength or luck or any of the rest of them. I would go with agility if I just had to. And it has Mr. Sandman in there. It has quicker reload. It has Action Boy / Action Girl. It has Ninja. I mean, literally all the best stuff for fighting and moving around and regenerating action points. And so whether you're going to use VATS or not, you know, because action points are used for sprinting too. They're treated like stamina. So it's not just a VATS thing. It's just all around good stuff. So I'm guessing this is the Rust Devil's base. This is their main center of operations here. It's very creepy. This is very Fallout 3-ish. I'm looking at this right here, and this is what I imagine this game could and would be before it came out. This type of thing right here. Where the lighting and the graphics, there's some improvement here, but it's still dark. This is gray washed enough. You know, if you're going to have light, have it come from fires. Have it come from something lit up against a wall that still has some paint left over from pre-war. But let that paint be cracked and scratched up and bombed out and chipping off of the wall type of thing, you know? Because everywhere should be affected. Now, I do like the one exception in the Cabot House. I am a huge fan of the Cabot House because it's preserved pre-war. And it fits into that little particular story. It's a side quest, very Fallout-ish, right? Huge fan of that. Like the way they did that. But how much better would that be in stark contrast to the rest of the world? When you walk out of the Cabot House, other than the clear blue sky, and a beautiful sky with the white fluffy clouds and all that other stuff. That should be a harsh contrast to the world underneath. You know, it's like here the world hasn't really suffered the full consequences of what man has really done to it. In Fallout 3, it did. In New Vegas, I don't even want to include that because it was a desert. It was a desert before the bombs fell. It was still a desert after the bombs fell. It should have been a big glass parking lot, if anything else, but that's it, you know, so I won't even talk about that. But Fallout 3 had that, this is what happens. You know, this is what happens when you lay bombs down and you kill millions and millions of innocent men, women, and children, and so on and so forth. This is what happened when you destroy the world you live in for some ideologies that mean nothing now that the world is destroyed and there's nothing left for you to live in, right? I mean, just the irony there, just stupid. But you could see it in Fallout 3. There's places here where you don't. And I understand they're trying to bring, like, hope back into the wasteland, that there was some hope for the future, that you could rebuild, that you could establish something from nothing and all that. Trees are cool, but the buildings and the places left behind, there's a little bit too much bright life look to it. Even though it's bombed out, downtown Boston has done really well, but it could use more gray wash. It could use less color. It could use more of a dreary, dismal, almost depressing thing to it. Now, I think you should leave it up to the things going on in the wasteland to bring a spark of life to the wasteland. People doing quirky things that they do in Fallout. The crazy stories like the Antagonizer and the Mechanist. We're on some kind of Mechanist style thing here, right? That type of stuff going on in the wasteland. That's what brought life to Fallout 3. The world was destroyed, and it was what they were making of it. Now we're seeing some hope for the world that was, in some way. I don't know, there's a little too much color in life. I don't know if that makes sense. But it's just like an overall impression, an overall feel. Like, I don't feel post-apocalyptic. I almost feel like some years have passed since the last of civilization. Maybe you could throw this same exact scenario into a survival game and get away with it. You know, where no bombs fell, maybe a plague or a virus, you know, one of those apocalyptic zombie type events type thing. You could get away with almost the same thing here. You know, for the most part, I can't really tell that it was the bombs that did it. It doesn't look a whole lot different in a lot of ways than maybe your typical survival guy. You know, I don't know. Not complaining, just an observance. Just getting, you know, an overall impression and feel. That's what these games are about. That's why I play RPGs. To immerse myself in the world and the sense, the feel, the overall ambience that the world gives me. That's what I go off of. You know, and if I feel a different way, I'm not going to lie about it. I'm just going to say, you know, I'm not getting that vibe here. Not getting the same vibe I got in Fallout 3. In fact, that was maybe the biggest gripe about New Vegas. It was also not getting that vibe there. The preserved part of Vegas was actually explained away in the story through the efforts of Mr. House and all that, essentially protecting New Vegas and basically making the point that had he had a few more years to implement the anti-missile defense systems that he was putting in place, that most of the U.S. would have looked a lot like that. A lot like Vegas was. Almost untouched. Very well preserved as far as that goes. So you would have pockets of that. And if that was an explanation for the Commonwealth, then I think they would have been better served to throw a little bit of that in there and maybe leave parts of the Commonwealth as well preserved as the Cabot House, which may explain why the Cabot House looks like that. Maybe there was something to keep it from suffering full impact of a warhead, some kind of shielding or something. I don't know, maybe there is something about that. But how about an entire pocket of the city that was essentially defended and only had just peripheral, you know, token damage from the warheads, because anything that might have hit directly was, you know, defended by some system that was in place due to the technology that Mr. House had implemented. That would be a good explanation. And then you could provide a lot of color, and you could give us a real look at pre-war, you know, with post-war people here, and you could come up with all kinds of quests for that. I could see that. But when you tell me that this area right here was supposed to have been just blasted, and it's still got color and trees and life in it and stuff, it just doesn't. I don't know. Just doesn't really click. Anyway, look at this new game I found on the computer. I'm trying to remember what this game was called. This is taken off an original Robotron, maybe? Can't remember. Kind of the 360 shooter, a lot like maybe like Asteroids or something, just to play off of that. And of course, I'm going to suck at this, but I couldn't help but play it. There we go. And can you even kill those sentry bots? Maybe you gotta catch them near those mines. Probably. I'm just running around shooting. I have no idea what I'm doing here. I'm not trying to do that. Oh, well. So much for that, I guess. There's my new high score. My only high score. In fact, my only score, period. I wonder if Nuka World is going to give us a new game also for our Pip-Boy. I don't spend as much time in my Pip-Boy playing the games like I should. Seemed like a good idea. Lots of good ideas implemented in Fallout 4. But you can throw in all the dressing you want, but you got to put some leaves in the salad first. And that's, you know... we kind of talked about it at length in the last video with some ideas I had for just the beginning of a game to set the tone and make it believable. I don't know, immersive, more immersive. Be interested once that comes up to see what some of you guys think about that. If you think that was a good idea. I mean, you're not going to get a company to scrap their project and go back and remake a game. That's unheard of. It's never happened. First of all, it would require a company saying that, yeah, we there's some things we could have, but we didn't. There's something to that. What if that robot looked like it was in a cage? Is that something I should have maybe saved? Could you run over my grenades, please? I guess not. Don't nuke. Oh, he nuked. And I lived. All right, awesome. But yeah, there would, I mean, way too much in investment. But although, if you've made your money back, and I would respect a company that said, you know what, we could have done this, and you know what, we're going to go back and do this. It would be admitting that there's something you could have done that you didn't do the first time, and that takes a lot.
Only a fucking coward hides.
Don't know. I mean, for all I know, that would be industry suicide for a company to go back and do something like that. And also for those of you that are huge fans of this game, like I was a fan of Fallout 3, you might be saying, "Why? Who are you? You know, why would you fix something that's not broken?" type of thing. And if you feel that way, I mean, awesome. I feel that if you buy a game and you're getting thousands of hours of enjoyment in that game, and it's just a delight just to get into it and just play, that's what it's about. I mean, you know, and do that. For me, being a huge fanboy of the way Bethesda does Fallout, I like it. And for fans of the original Fallout, you know, Fallout 1 and 2 or whatever, then and for those that probably don't like Bethesda's way of doing things because they're more nostalgic and more down with the way it was originally done by, who was it, Interplay or whoever? Anyway, you might think the same way. You know, you might want it to go back to whatever it was. But in this case, Bethesda still has their hands on it. This isn't like a new company coming back and messing with, you know, a Bethesda Fallout title. Just like Bethesda came in and altered some things from the original Interplay title, well, in this case, it's still Bethesda. And for them to depart from the way they do things so much it's troubling to me, and I wonder why. I mean, did all the people who did all the writing and had all the cool ideas to create a living, breathing, believable post-apocalyptic world that you could get immersed in, did they all leave? I mean, did everybody leave? Or the ones that stayed, do they just have no say-so anymore? Because I can't believe their input is just completely gone, but it seems like it. This is a different game. Not necessarily bad. It's great for a shooter. It's great for an action game. But not as an RPG. I mean, just to be honest.
You don't look like one of the
And I
Rust
want it to be.
Devils.
So badly, I want it to be.
What are you doing here?
What did the Rust Devils do to you?
They felt that by keeping my head online would prove useful to them. Fortunately for me, they're stupid enough to actually believe anything I say. Admittedly, it hasn't gotten me very far, but it has saved me from the same fate as my rather unfortunate comrades you see in pieces around you. Now, back to my original question. What are you doing here?
Hunting down a radar beacon.
A radar beacon? How very interesting. That's a very specific part to be searching for, and you don't look like the typical part scavenger type to me. I calculate a 98.8% chance that you're looking for the Mechanist. If I'm correct, and I usually am, then perhaps we can help each other with our respective predicaments.
This is awesome.
I could definitely use the help.
I thought you might say something like that. Now, how can I put this as simple as possible so someone at your processing speed can understand? In order to find the Mechanist, you're going to need more than just my radar beacon. You're going to need access to the facility. I'm willing to provide said access, but you'll have to fulfill two simple conditions. One, you need to get me as far away as you can from these lunatics. And two, find me a new body. Once both conditions are satisfied, I'll gladly provide you with everything you need. Do we have a deal?
How do I know you'll keep up your end of the bargain?
You don't.
Uh-oh.
You're just going to have to trust me. So, do we have a deal?
Deal.
A wise decision.
Something tells me...
Once we're at our destination, I'll happily relinquish my radar beacon as a gesture of good faith. Now, I strongly suggest you stop loitering in the middle of a hostile location and get us both out of here at once.
Yeah, something tells me I'm going to wish I had passed that speech check. Well, considering the name, Jezebel, and considering robo-brains are notorious for being really unstable, I can see this maybe not ending well. But you know what? It's part of the story. Totally cool. Now this really is more along the lines of what I'm used to. Not just the looks of this place, the ability to come in and really explore a really cool
Watch
dungeon
the
area.
tripwires. I'd rather keep myself intact today, thank you.
The quirky attitude of this character here, this Jezebel robot, with the condescending, patronizing, arrogant, snide little attitude. I mean, that's what I'm talking about. Oh, I really wish I could save right here. I really wish I could save. That's one thing about survival mode when you go on a mission like this. Unless you get lucky, really lucky, and find a place that's not within enemy range that you can actually rest at, assuming there's a bed at all, you have to get through that mission untouched, essentially. You just have to get through without dying, somehow.
You really are taking the path of most resistance here.
Taking the path of most resistance. Instead of least resistance? Okay, that's funny. Okay, now see, I'm the type that would actually like this particular robot as a follower. I really would. I'm guessing with a robo-brain, you can't change around the head. You would have to have the robo-brain head walking around, make an interesting companion. I'm going to have to build this robot a body, too. How to make it as ridiculous looking as possible is what I should do. Alright, be done. Be done with that. Yeah, see, this is cool. This is what I'm talking about. I like the way this looks. We should have had more of this. I'm not expecting the whole world to look like this, you know. But for lack of any real subway system, which they should not have done away with in this game, That was a huge element of Fallout 3. It was a way to get places. It was a way to get to some places you couldn't get to otherwise because they were collapsed. Skyscrapers had collapsed. The buildings had fallen in on themselves. You couldn't climb over, you know, hundreds of feet, 100-foot tall piles of rubble and steel and stuff like that. You had to go under. And you had to experience whatever the underground held for you. Man, that shit was awesome. Even if you're claustrophobic, even if it was creepy, I mean, that was a certain element of the game. Just, man. Got anybody else up there? I think I hear a turret. We'll probably just turn them off right here. Wouldn't doubt it.
I'm in.
Nice. So I don't know where that turret is. Hopefully that's the last of them. That's done with. Won't be getting shot in the back now. Lots of 308 rounds. Even on enemies that aren't carrying a 308 weapon. Nice. I mean, well, I don't use them, but if I did, I would be happy to see those. Typically, 308 weapon, you know, you're not going through a lot of ammo. So 2 rounds is often the equivalent of 20. You're probably playing a sniper type role. That's typically the weapons those rounds go in. What's that turret? Oh, it's 2 turrets. Okay. Let me get the XP for those.
Based on my limited experience with you, I estimate a 65% chance of making it out of here. Not optimal. An increase in effort could have an impact on the odds.
So sarcastic. Thanks for the vote of confidence there. Yeah. See, what I would like is a companion that starts out that way and then eventually grows on you and you become buddies.
This is the one that ripped my head off. I demand we rip her head off. It's only fair.
I demand we rip her head off. Okay. See that right? Yeah, I think I could like this particular companion here. I see some kind of robot there with something glowing that would probably kill me if it hit me. I'm just guessing. Looks like they have all the amenities here. What are we looking at? Someone in power armor. Ivy. So this is the leader of these assholes. Full set of power armor too. Here, suck on those.
Had I a body, I would have killed her myself. Oh well. 6 of one, half dozen of the other. Good job, human.
You're welcome. Increases energy damage. Huh. Interesting. Tesla rifle. Tesla armor. Doesn't look like the Tesla armor I'm accustomed to. I have no use for power armor. Those of you that are power armor fans, you're probably going, how could you leave that behind? Well, it's probably about 500 pounds worth of shit, actually. In fact, I'm going to drop this too. Freaking clip ended. Sorry about that. Let's see if I can fix this. All right. Alright, let's try that again. Alright, here we go. So I guess it's a free shot home now. Now this should be the last of the beacons or whatever that we need for Ada. Salvaged Assaultron head. Charged by reloading repeatedly. The more charges, the higher the damage. Irradiates user. Another energy weapon. So I guess that power armor set was designed for those who are, you know, energy weapon users and stuff. I always like gear that focuses on a particular skill or trait or something that you're going to do. That's pretty much in any game. Let everything buff or support whatever it is you're good at.
Thank goodness we are out of that hole. Don't think your job is done. I refuse to cooperate until you provide a body that meets my standards.
Smart-ass robot. Anyway, here we are. Made it all the way back. Let's see what Ada wants us to do with this stuff.
I was well built for travel. His modifications will be adequate for quite some time.
Here you go, Ada. The final radar beacon. I'll need that head back when you're done.
Of course. Shouldn't take but a moment. There you go. Still in one piece. I'm not sure why you want the head back. All we needed was its radar beacon. Besides, robo-brains are notorious for being, well, a real pain in the neck.
What else do you know about them, Ada?
Quite simply, it's the first time General Atomics produced a successful union between organic matter and robotics. The brain is used both as a control unit and a data storage unit, which is far more efficient than using standard circuits. Unfortunately, there were a lot of programming issues with these robots, which caused them to be a bit, shall we say, unhinged. Hopefully, this particular robo-brain will have some of the answers that we've been seeking.
A union of organic matter and robotics? Sounds an awful lot like a synth.
Not at all. The robo-brain was built with a very different design philosophy in mind. General Atomics' intent was to use the human brain to augment the robot's functions, primarily to accelerate the decision-making process. Free thought and individuality was never intended. These were expressly built like soldiers, to follow orders without question. The robo-brain's unfortunate tendency towards violence and aggression should be considered more of a malfunction than a calculated decision.
We still need it, Ada. I believe it can help us access the Mechanist's facility.
Of course. It makes perfect sense that the Mechanist would not only keep its location a closely guarded secret, but would secure it against intrusion as well. I'm terribly sorry. I hadn't considered that possibility at all. I'm afraid when it comes to assisting humans, I'm not doing very well lately.
Why would you say something like that?
Isn't it obvious? Ever since I let my friends die in that caravan, I feel like I've been failing in my duties. I chose the route we took the day we were attacked. Perhaps if I had selected an alternate route, they'd still be alive. Sometimes I wish that Jackson had programmed me with my personality mode set permanently to disabled.
Your personality defines you as an individual. Never let that go.
You're right. All of the good memories I've experienced being Ada would be lost if my personality mode was shut down. I can't afford to lose them. I really think I needed to hear that from someone else. Thank you. Now I've distracted you for long enough. I'll finish up my calculations while you deal with our new friend, Jezebel. Hopefully, she'll be able to grant us access to the Mechanist's facility and we can put an end to this nonsense once and for all.
I've bonded with my new robot buddy Ada, apparently. So build Jezebel a body. Okay. Guess we just start with a new robot? Sure, why not? You know what, I'll just make a new robot anyway.
I wonder what you'll build next. All systems are go, ma'am. A pleasure to see you again, ma'am. Are you ready to depart?
Okay, so I guess we should just give her all the basics, right? Literally use every kind of robot part. I guess it just requires you to have found them. And we'll give her a Give her sarcastic ass a pink paint job.
Did I misinterpret?
Interesting. This body you've selected for me isn't quite what I had envisioned, but it will have to suffice.
I'm sorry you feel that way. It's the best I could do.
Yes. Well, it's certainly better than being stuck to a machine surrounded by rust devils poking and prodding me for their amusement. Look, it's obvious we don't care for each other's company, which suits me just fine. So, why don't you ask me everything you wanted to know, and then I'll be on my way.
Tell me everything you know about the Mechanist.
Now there's a fascinating subject. The Mechanist, amazingly adept at programming, a veritable genius with electronics. I'm not surprised you're interested. I've been dutifully carrying out the Mechanist's instructions to help the people of the Commonwealth for quite a long time.
Helping the people of the Commonwealth? You?
Absolutely. It's my primary directive. The Mechanist instructed me to seek out and help the people of the Commonwealth. By my calculations, the easiest way to help a human is simply to destroy it. There's no point in prolonging a laughably fragile life. It's the most efficient way to assist them. Any other effort to help tends to result in numerous complex side effects.
I don't think you understand the definition of help.
Help. To give or provide what is necessary to accomplish a task or to satisfy a need. I'm doing exactly as I was instructed. Assisting a human to the best of my abilities only affords a 25% survival rate. That means there's a 75% chance that despite my efforts, the human I'm assisting will die from something beyond my control. Therefore, it's better to hasten the human's death and put them out of their likely chance of misery than to deplete my limited time. It's actually quite elementary, but given your minimal intellect, I suppose I shouldn't be surprised you don't understand.
Wow.
Can we stop with the petty bickering and just get to the part where you tell me how to access the Mechanist facility?
I promised to answer your questions, and unlike humans, I don't have the capacity to lie. It's rather simple, really. In order to gain entry to the Mechanist facility, you're going to need to outfit one of your robots with an MSAT modification. I'll upload the plans to your Pip-Boy device. There. I've fulfilled my portion of our agreement. Perhaps I'll remain here for a while and see how things resolve between yourself and the Mechanist. Purely for my own amusement, of course. I suspect you'll have quite a tale to tell once you return. But then again, I'd be surprised if you ever return at all.
Wow. This robot. I wonder if things change with this robot after time. Who knows?
I wonder how long my systems will endure these rugged conditions. I trust you've completed your business with Jezebel. I hope she wasn't too difficult.
Is there a chance these robots could be misinterpreting orders?
Yes, I've considered the possibility. The contradictory nature of the Mechanist's broadcasts are troubling. But the truth is, regardless of intent, the Mechanist needs to be stopped. These robots are too much a threat. Were you able to discover how to gain access to the Mechanist?
Think we can trust what Jezebel said? I'm hoping she doesn't have her own interpretation of the word access, too.
We'll soon find out. What did she have to say?
I need to outfit a robot with something called an MSAT. Jezebel gave me the plans.
A custom modification that acts as a key to the Mechanist facility. Very smart. In fact, chances are high the MSAT may be required for multiple access points, like a robot identification card. As for my task, I was able to decrypt the signal with the final radar beacon. The source is coming from a Robco sales and service center, most likely a front for a larger operation. It's time to take the offensive. Have you formulated a plan?
It's time to confront the Mechanist.
I hope you're allowed the opportunity. I too am curious as to what the Mechanist would have to say. Now, if you're ready, I believe you have an MSAT to install. Would you allow me to assist you on this mission?
Of course, Ada. Let's go.
Lead the way.
So I guess I need to put the MSAT in Ada, right? It says put it on a robot. I don't know, I kind of want to make a robot, actually. Just because. Go store all my junk. That still didn't do it, huh? Whatever I have is just weighing me down to death. Probably all kinds of stuff, ammo and everything else.
Ma'am, I have some components.
Oh,
for
it's
you.
because I brought in Ada as a companion. It takes away all my carry weight. Yeah, that's a big part of it. Okay. Yeah, my carry weight is close to like the 300 mark now, I think. By myself. And my backpack gets real big without a companion. Also, I've got some of this, stuff like that. Probably unique items, collectibles of a sort. But they weigh a lot, so go ahead and put those up for posterity's sake. Yeah, I wonder if Jezebel and I can ever be friends.
If you
I guess I should
wanted to
have
use a
renamed
printing press while you're at it.
for Jezebel also, I guess.
It's always fascinating watching you.
Yeah, let's just make a robot just to do it. See how studly we can make one.
Never thought a reporter could consider themselves a success until someone threatened their life. Me? I'm very successful.
Voice and everything else, huh? Very cool. Alright, so there's the MSAT. You know what? I might see if I can put one of those in Ada, though. I'd rather bring Ada along just because. She's the one that has the whole revenge issue that she needs to satisfy, right? We'll make an Uber protector on here. Automatron 946. I'm guessing you can rename also. Oh wow, lockpick module, hacking module.
Made it another day in the Commonwealth.
So could you put a lockpicking on one and a hacking on the other? Huh. Interesting. You could have a robot companion that could take care of that and save you points that you could put into other stuff. I get it. Well, that's just a little too much. I mean, you can already get all the points you want in the game anyway. That's kind of unnecessary.
Anything I can do? You just say the word.
So I can see starting a character and making a beeline for whatever level you need to unlock this. I think it's like level 15. And then finishing it off, you know, the quest line or whatever, and then making for yourself a companion, or Ada, using Ada as a companion, and putting on her all the stuff, lockpicking module, hacking module, and all that. And then all of a sudden, I don't know if there's a limit. Like, do you have to upgrade the hacking module to where they can do expert and master locks and stuff? Or do you just put the module on there and they can unlock anything ever?
Do you wish to enable this unit's personality subroutine?
The robot's trying to ask me. I got too many robots around here now. They all want to talk to me at once.
No input detected. Entering wait mode.
Give her lots and lots of armor. Make her a little more resilient. even give her aggravated looking thruster armor. That's funny. I think I'm going to give her legs back, though. I know I just made that. I'm just playing around. No, I can't. Yeah, some of the stuff requires perks that I don't have. There we go. Yeah, I can put the MSAT in Ada. Guess we'll do that. So it does the same thing as Beacon. It also allows her to, I don't know what, access the Mechanist space or something.
Made it another day in the Commonwealth. Lucky us.
Yeah, I have robots running around everywhere now. Okay, so where exactly are we headed? Down there to Robco's sales. Looks back down near the castle again. Alright, well, I guess I'll meet you guys there. I'm going to go do some buying and stuff, get some ammo stocked up and healing, and anyway, get across the map, and I'll catch up with you there. If you want to subscribe, click the button up top. If you want to catch the Fallout 4 playthrough, click the image in the middle. Catch y'all later. Bye-bye.